Welcome, PBA LBC League Bowlers. I'm Neil Stremmel, your Director of Rules and Equipment for the PBA, and today I am joined by the man with the greatest name in bowling, Neil Pennington. Neil Pennington is here from QubicaAMF. He is the Vice President of everything to do with strings, but actually, what's your actual title, Neil?
My actual title is General Manager of Capital Equipment and Aftermarket for QubicaAMF.
All right. So today we want to talk about some of the benefits of the QubicaAMF Edge machines for proprietors. But first, let's touch on, what are the benefits for the bowlers? What do the bowlers get out of having string machines for them?
Yeah, actually there's a lot of benefits, Neil. First, if you just think about, there's no deadwood.
Yeah.
So with these machines, you don't have to worry about pins flying out and people having to come down the lanes, delay play. Secondly, the pins are consistently put on spot.
Yeah.
So that promotes fairness. You don't have bowlers waiting around also to respot pins.
Yeah, and I know for in a PBA event, we get a lot of deadwood because our guys are throwing it so hard and fast, they're bouncing out. And so, we get the deadwood, and then there's always a little bit of a delay. You got to put it on second ball, throw it down the gutter, et cetera, et cetera. I could go on and on. Yeah. But then also, the pins being on spot, if they get moved off a spot just a little bit, they're going to get picked up, put right back on spot. And that's been tested. USBC went through that. We went through that in our testing. And, we've decided that is the fairest, most consistent way to just go ahead and put them right back on spot and then shoot those spares.
Yeah, and the reason it's consistently on spot, like with a traditional free fall type machine, technicians have to go in and readjust the spotting mechanisms, and so those actually can move over time. Yeah. Where with the string design, the pin is on a string, it's like a plumb bob somewhat, and it's just going to drop down there.
Straight down, so gravity is your friend, puts it right on the same spot every time.
Exactly, and you don't have all the adjustments, so it's kind of a one and done kind of thing. Before we go, though, I have one more kind of benefit for the bowler.
Yeah, oh yeah.
With edge string, you can actually set the pins on demand.
Oh yeah.
So as a bowler, if you're trying to practice certain types of shots, certain type of leaves, you can do that without a problem.
Yeah, I've done that personally with 10 pin, and there's really only one other pin setter out there that allows that or does that for you. But yeah, the QubicaAMF Edge will just set the 10 pin time and time and time again, and you just keep shooting it. Or the bucket's the other one I've done, but I've seen a lot of people do, 2-4-5 or bucket or whatever, and just continue to practice that, and you just go, and you can just keep practicing.
Exactly.
So yeah, that is a great advantage. All right, let's go in the back and check that out. And Neil, we talked a little bit about some of the benefits for the bowlers on the QubicaAMF Edge machines, and now we wanted to talk the benefits for the proprietors. Why would the proprietors put it in? What benefits are they seeing? So tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, exactly. So to start off, first of all, there's a lot of benefits for the proprietors to put these machines in. Start off with the simplicity, right? So one of the big things that proprietors really face, it's a challenge today, is really finding good qualified technicians for their free fall machines. These older machines, they can be 30, 40 years old, 50 years old in some cases, and it's just really been hard, and as the years go by, to find people who can really work on these. And that's a big stressor, right? And it's also makes it hard to operate a bowling center. So you've got that, you've got parts costs for older machines, keeping them running, electrical costs. So you think about those things from the business standpoint, edge string and string machines kind of really address those. These machines are much, much simpler than the older freefall machines. Very few adjustments. You can pretty much get somebody comfortable operating these machines within a day or two. And they're very safe, guarded, full rear access back here, so people aren't crawling down the lanes to work on things. Yeah. We even have the scoring components mounted up above in the rear. So it's just very simple to operate. Now, you do have to have somebody to maintain them, right? There is basic maintenance and servicing, but it's nothing like you would get on a traditional old freefall machine.
Yeah, so as we know, I don't know if everybody out there in PBA LBC land really know and understand, the mechanics are aging. The ones that are interested or have been spending a lot of time on the free fall machines, they are, retiring, going away, not continuing to be part of the industry. It's just logical evolution. And so it's been a problem, especially for smaller centers, correct me if I'm wrong, to get, a mechanic to be, a key part of their environment to work on the machines. And so what happens? The proprietor ends up doing it, or you got somebody who's trying to work on HVAC and work on washing machines and everything else out there, but they can't spend the time working on that because they're always working on the pin setters, the free fall pin setters anyways.
Exactly. Good point, Neil. On the smaller centers specifically, it is, right? You're the proprietor, you're doing everything in that center.
Yeah.
So with putting the edge string machines in, it really takes that load off of you, and you can really focus more on other parts of your business, right? You can focus on the customer experience, you can focus on other things to help drive revenue, and you don't have to worry about maintaining the machines or devoting as much time, right, to maintaining them. So we've had multiple customers operating edge string refer to it as the stress-free machine. Also, you think about the cost of operation and electricity. Electricity is becoming more expensive. These machines are very energy efficient. They use 24-volt DC motors, and you can bowl for 3 hours on this machine for the same amount of electrical power that it takes to brew a pot of coffee. So that's going to add up, obviously, as well. It's very energy efficient. You think about older freefall machines. Centers typically have $600 to $1,000 per lane hanging on the wall in parts. When you put in a machine like this, you're looking at $125 to $150 per lane, so significantly less. So you can take that money that was tied up in parts and you can invest it somewhere else in your business.
All right, that's great. So you talked about the simplicity. What more information do you have on that you can use to help run these machines?
Yeah, so in addition to the mechanical simplicity, in addition to that, we have an app. It's called Tech Wizard. We built into that app some guidance for staff. So the intent was essentially edge string will tell you when it needs attention. So again, these were designed so that you don't have to have a dedicated person behind the machines every day. So when it needs something, the app will notify you. And it does several things. One thing is just day-to-day operations. If there's something happens that needs some attention, it's going to notify you, tell you which lane needs attention. It's going to tell you exactly what's wrong. It will actually give you the potential causes in order of likelihood. Then there's a whole maintenance program algorithm built into it. So we've got the whole maintenance schedule for the machine. It'll notify you if it's time to do some type of service. If it's cleaning or rotating the pins. With these machines, we do recommend a rotation of pins, especially in the competitive bowling environment. So it'll notify you. It has videos and text instructions built into it to kind of guide you if you don't know how to do the specific service intervention. When you roll it all up, right, from a business standpoint, when you think about the parts cost savings of these machines, the labor savings of these machines, the energy savings, when you roll all that up, typical customers with operating these machines, typical centers are seeing somewhere between 3.5 and 4 years as far as return on their investment. So it's a pretty compelling business benefit there.
That's a good ROI. I've seen that in a variety of ways of looking at all kinds of upgrades, and proprietors should look at their ROI no matter what upgrade they're looking at. And so from a pin setter standpoint, that's a great piece of information. All right, bowlers, thanks for joining us. We have spent some time talking about the benefits for the bowlers, and we talked about the benefits for proprietors as well as more information for the proprietors. Tune in next time where we're going to talk about the benefits for the industry as a whole. So thank you very much for joining us. Thank you to Neil Pennington from QubicaAMF for being here and helping us out. And please continue to support our sport. Thank you very much.
Thank you.